What's going on, guys? It's John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks. You listen to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
Hey, JB, hope you're doing well. Obviously taking on the Hawks tomorrow, they made a number of upgrades to their roster. What do you see from this team and that maybe you can kind of take advantage of tomorrow or should expect as you look to pick up the first win on this road trip?
Sam, they're a deep team. I've not studied them a whole lot yet. That'll be preparation today. I've focused on our team, watching our film. So I'll have more answers for you tomorrow on Atlanta. I think they're deep. They've added depth. They're a talented group. They got a stud in Trae Young and other pieces, not just him. It's a group that is very dangerous, especially on the offensive end.
Rick Bonnell.
Hey, JB, the other day you said that you feel like offense has been somewhat of an ongoing problem. Last night you played Malik 10 minutes. Wondered if those two situations were one was connected to the other, and what you saw of Malik and what do you think might be next is regarding.
Yeah, there's not a connection there. I mean, he stayed ready. It felt like the right time to put him in, and I went with him. That was just a gut decision. I didn't plan on it, but I thought he looked good. You know, he's finding his rhythm. We practice again today. Malik is a skilled young man who can get to the rim, can make plays, can finish. We need some more offense as we move forward. He's someone that can provide that for us. That does not mean anything. I wouldn't read anything into that other than last night felt right at that moment to put him in the game.
You also mentioned that you wanted to take a look after last night's game and any possible lineup tweaks. Have anything come to mind?
There's lineup tweaks that will be made for tomorrow. Not necessarily in the starting lineup. But I think along the way, trying to find some different combinations of guys as we move throughout a game to give us more offense. And I'll look at those tomorrow in the flow of the game. I imagine the starting group will be the same, but as we go, we could see some different lineup combinations out there.
Thanks.
Raphael.
Hey, Coach. Piggybacking off that, because it's still early in the season, and I know you said you were literally like you were just searching for answers. You're gonna, go to the film room. Is it too early to go ahead and make changes, whether it's lineup, schemes, or what have you, or is it early enough to where you can say, you know what, we can make this change during the season?
This is not a great sample size yet. There's a couple metrics, lineups that I think there's a good enough sample with that I'm evaluating right now. A lot of them, it's tough to evaluate on. We just don't have a great sample size. 10 minutes of a group playing together is not a great sample. I don't think that's fair. It's basically 1 or 2 games, and that's not fair. So, yeah, look, I'm evaluating, and it is early in the season. I'm not going to overreact right now. I want to stay poised and focus on what we can improve on right now at this moment and get better at it and make tweaks along the way. I think, we'll look at some different lineups. As I said earlier, we'll look at some different combinations tomorrow to get some more offense. I think the starting group has a pretty good sample now, and I'll continue to evaluate that. We do have to get off to better starts. And that group is struggling to score. Those are the facts. But I'm not going to give up on that group just yet because I think sometimes you try to plug one hole and you open up a floodgate somewhere else. So let's stay the course, stay poised, continue to grow and get better.
Richard, go ahead.
Coach Borrego, you're talking about the switch in the lineups, and you made some reference to the fact that not having Cody exposes you a little bit. Is this offensive struggle somewhat of a residual effect of Cody being out and the changes you've had to make, or is it just simple matchups of the teams playing, or is it a combination of the two?
That's a good question. I think it's a combination, Richard. Philly's one of the best defensive teams in the league. So for me to sit here and overreact to 2 games, I think is unwise on my part. they're as big, as long a team as you're going to find in the league. Ben Simmons, Dwight, Embiid, Tobias, their bench is long and athletic. So they're going to give most teams a problem on the offensive end most nights. So I can't just evaluate it off of those two games. We miss Cody Zeller for sure, especially on the offensive end. He plays with great pace, his playmaking ability at the top, his ability to stretch the floor. We miss that. But Cody's out. We got to adjust. We got to pivot. We got to get better. That's the bottom line.
Last question, go to Rod Boone.
JB, you mentioned the offensive struggles and just, you talked in camp about the guys, trusting the guys, not calling too many plays out there. Could that be a tweak? Do you feel like the offense is flowing the way you want to when you're trusting guys out there? You got to maybe call a couple more plays and sets out there for you guys as well.
We're calling a number of sets. I mean, there's over 100 possessions in an NBA game, so I'm calling a number of sets. Off of misses, we've been playing in flow, and the guys are moving. We're getting good shots. When you look at our shot quality, it's not bad. It's top 10 in the NBA. I mean, this is. If I slowed it down and called a play every time, could I guarantee that I get a better shot than we got it in flow and transition? Not necessarily. I think there's some moments throughout a game, and I'll reference probably that last 3 minutes of the second quarter. It was a 4-point game, and we were getting stops. If you remember, we're getting stops. We're getting out. We're running. Poor decision making though in transition. Challenging Embiid at the rim, not a good decision. A runner in the lane instead of kicking it out, that's a decision. Not necessarily a play call would have helped that. But as I evaluated, maybe there were probably a few possessions where I could have slowed them down and maybe called something as we went. But I can't fault our shot selection. At the end of the day, we got to make shots. And we're getting good high-level shots. But our decision-making could get cleaned up as we go. Absolutely.
This is the Hall of Famer, Marshall Faulk, and you're listening to 3 Point Conversion.